Anyway, it's been over here since December. We've had two tapes sent back. I've only seen the first one. I didn't see the second one yet. Yuval brought that to the States a couple of weeks ago.
So this is here to
record the progress of our grandson and Elisa and Yuval and their house and everything else that goes on in Israel, because we can't be here all the time, and when we're not here, we'll at least have the tape of the important events of their lives.
Okay, wait, Larry has to show
So now that we've got Larry here to pick up the cookies,
Yes.
which I brought from his mother,
Here.
and we've been sitting around chatting and talking for the last hour or so, I'm asking him the question that's going to be asked of me when I get back to Hartford. So how are things in Israel? What shall I tell them?
Things are good, things are bad. There were the best of times, there were the worst of times. I don't know. Things are moving right along. Nothing remains static here.
Yeah.
So what's good for one person is terrible for another person. The economy is probably, if there's anything that's changed, it's the economy.
Yeah.
Not that there's been recovery, but at least I think they've stopped for the most part the what had been slipping for all of these years, and the tremendous inflation.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't mean that we're not going to go back to inflation once they start pumping money into the economy again to rebuild the economy.
This is what amazed me, and as I've been watching it since we were here last summer, the value of the shekel has remained stable. In terms of dollar-shekel relationship, it's been up around 1480, 1500, so on, and with the deflation, with the change in the currency, it's still the same thing. And I went in to buy something in a store last summer, and I went in to buy the same thing last week, and the price was actually the same. It was actually the same. And
that's on that one thing. What we've had the shekel value as compared to the dollar has remained fairly static, but there has been inflation. We've been going through inflation is probably somewhere in the area now since probably the beginning of winter, around 40 to 60%, depending upon where we're standing. Compared to where we were just a year ago, it's a tremendous difference. But in January, by the way, we had a negative inflation.
I read about
overall
that.
prices in the marketplace went down.
Incredible.
By 1 3/10% or something like that, or 0.3%.
Yeah.
But there is still inflation, and basically what happened was they did a tremendous currency devaluation in one shot, which brought it to the level where it is today, 1,500 shekels or 1.5 new shekels compared to the dollar. But prices are still going up as compared to where they used to be when that devaluation took place. The question is can they slow it down enough so that it's going to take a lot longer for it to reach the true value of 1.5 per dollar. And if it reaches that and passes it, are they going to have to devalue again? And that's probably the big question. And people are basing a lot of their the future.
Things overall seem to be more controlled. They don't seem to be as wild as they used to be.
There's a lot less speculation. There are a lot less people hanging out at the stock exchange and hanging outside the banks and watching the TV monitors for all of the changing currencies and whatever was on the market. You find less people talking about that kind of stuff. But there is, basically people right now are dealing in currency more than anything else. The exchange has quieted down, and now the currency exchanges are speeding up. As Lisa was telling us with her, with this account that happened to it at one point, have made a lot of interest.
Yeah.
So people are speculating on that, but that's keeping it within the banks, which means that it's quasi-legal as compared to in the old days where most of the stuff was pure black market.
Yeah.
So they brought everything out of the closet now.